Welcome. Rivers are continuous flowing bodies of water that move across the surface of the earth, shaping landscapes, sustaining ecosystems, and supporting human societies. They originate from a variety of sources, including rainfall, melting snow, natural springs, and lakes. From their beginnings in upland regions, rivers travel downhill under the influence of gravity, eventually reaching seas, oceans, or inland basins. A river's journey is defined by its channel, the physical path carved into soil, rock, and sediment. Channels vary widely in width, depth, and shape, depending on terrain, climate, and the volume of water carried. Some rivers follow narrow, steep valleys with swift currents, while others meander slowly across broad plains, forming looping bends known as meanders. Over time, these movements reshape surrounding land through erosion, transport, and deposition of materials. The flow of a river is measured as discharge, the volume of water passing a specific point over a given time. Discharge depends on precipitation, watershed size, seasonal changes, and contributions from tributaries. Tributaries are smaller streams or rivers that join a larger river, increasing its flow and expanding its drainage basin. A drainage basin, also called a watershed, is the entire area of land where precipitation collects and drains into a common outlet. Rivers play a central role in the global distribution of fresh water. Although oceans contain most of Earth's water, rivers provide accessible fresh water, essential for drinking, agriculture, sanitation, and industry. Many of the world's largest cities developed along rivers because of reliable water supply, fertile floodplains, and transportation routes. Floodplains are flat areas adjacent to rivers that periodically flood when water levels rise. These floods deposit nutrient-rich sediments that enhance soil fertility, making floodplains highly productive for agriculture. While flooding can pose risks to settlements and infrastructure, it is also a natural process that maintains ecological balance and replenishes soil nutrients. River systems are dynamic and constantly changing. Seasonal rainfall, snowmelt, and climatic variations influence water levels and flow rates. During periods of heavy rainfall, rivers may swell beyond their banks, while drought conditions can reduce flow or cause sections to dry. These fluctuations are part of natural hydrological cycles that regulate water distribution across landscapes. Sediment transport is a fundamental function of rivers. As water flows, it carries particles ranging from fine silt and clay to sand, gravel, and larger rocks. The speed of the current determines the size of particles that can be moved. Fast-moving water in mountainous regions can transport large rocks, while slower currents in lowland areas deposit finer sediments, forming fertile plains and deltas. Deltas form where rivers meet larger bodies of water, such as seas or lakes. As the river slows, it deposits sediment, creating branching channels and rich wetlands. These regions often support diverse plant and animal life and serve as important buffers against storm surges and coastal erosion. Rivers also influence local climate by moderating temperatures and increasing humidity. The presence of flowing water can cool surrounding areas during warm periods and reduce temperature extremes. In many regions, river valleys create microclimates that support unique vegetation and agricultural practices. Human interaction with rivers dates back thousands of years. Early settlements depended on rivers for drinking water, irrigation, fishing, and transportation. Rivers served as natural highways, enabling trade and cultural exchange between distant communities. Even today, many major transportation networks rely on navigable rivers to move goods efficiently. Hydroelectric power is another significant use of rivers. By harnessing the energy of flowing water, dams and turbines generate electricity without burning fossil fuels. While hydroelectric projects provide renewable energy, they also alter natural flow patterns and can affect fish migration and sediment transport. River navigation requires careful management of channels, depths, and currents. Engineers often modify river courses through dredging, levees, and locks to support shipping and reduce flood risks. These interventions demonstrate the balance between utilizing rivers for human benefit and preserving their natural functions. Rivers support extensive biodiversity. Freshwater ecosystems include fish, amphibians, aquatic plants, insects, and microorganisms that form complex food webs. Many species depend on seasonal flooding to reproduce, feed, and migrate. Healthy river systems are indicators of environmental stability and water quality. Water quality in rivers is influenced by natural processes and human activities. Runoff from agriculture, urban areas, and industry can introduce pollutants such as nutrients, chemicals, and sediments. Monitoring and conservation efforts aim to protect river health, ensuring safe water supplies and resilient ecosystems. Cultural and spiritual connections to rivers are found across the world. Rivers are often regarded as symbols of life, renewal, and continuity. Many traditions include rituals, festivals, and stories centered on rivers, reflecting their importance in daily life and cultural identity. From small mountain streams to vast continental waterways, rivers connect landscapes and communities. They transport water, nutrients, and sediments across great distances, shaping the Earth's surface and supporting life. Understanding rivers provides insight into the interconnected systems that sustain the planet. As the steady flow of water continues across valleys, plains, and deltas, rivers remain a constant presence in the natural world. Their movement reflects cycles of rainfall, seasonal change, and gravitational force, forming patterns that have endured for millennia. Through their quiet persistence, rivers shape environments, sustain ecosystems, and support human civilization. Erosion occurs when flowing water removes soil, rock, and sediment from the riverbed and banks. The force of erosion depends on water speed, volume, and the type of material encountered. In steep upland regions, fast-moving rivers cut deeply into bedrock, forming narrow valleys and gorges. Over long periods, this downward cutting can create dramatic canyons with towering cliffs and exposed geological layers that reveal the history of the land. As rivers descend from mountainous areas into lower terrain, their gradients decrease and their channels widen. The reduced slope slows the current, changing the balance between erosion and deposition. Instead of cutting downward, rivers begin to erode sideways, widening their valleys and forming floodplains. These floodplains become important agricultural areas, due to the fertile soils deposited during seasonal floods. Erosion occurs when flowing water removes soil, rock, and sediment from the riverbed and banks. The force of erosion depends on water speed, volume, and the type of material encountered. In steep upland regions, fast-moving rivers cut deeply into bedrock, forming narrow valleys and gorges. Over long periods, this downward cutting can create dramatic canyons with towering cliffs and exposed geological layers that reveal the history of the land. As rivers descend from mountainous areas into lower terrain, their gradients decrease and their channels widen. The reduced slope slows the current, changing the balance between erosion and deposition. Instead of cutting downward, rivers begin to erode sideways, widening their valleys and forming floodplains. These floodplains become important agricultural areas due to the fertile soils deposited during seasonal floods. Transportation is the process by which rivers carry eroded materials downstream. Sediment moves in several ways, depending on particle size and water velocity. Larger rocks and gravel may roll or bounce along the riverbed in a process known as traction and saltation. Sand and smaller particles are often suspended in the water, carried long distances before settling. Fine silt and clay can remain suspended for extended periods, traveling hundreds or even thousands of kilometers. Deposition occurs when a river loses energy and can no longer carry its sediment load. This commonly happens when rivers enter flatter terrain, slow their flow, or meet standing bodies of water such as lakes or seas. Deposited sediments form a variety of landforms, including sandbars, levees, floodplains, and deltas. Over time, repeated deposition builds rich soils that support diverse plant life and agriculture. Meanders are one of the most recognizable features created by river processes. As rivers flow across gentle slopes, slight variations in current speed cause erosion on the outer banks of bends and deposition on the inner banks. This process exaggerates curves over time, creating looping patterns across floodplains. Meanders can shift gradually, altering the course of the river and reshaping surrounding land. In some cases, meanders become so pronounced that the river cuts through a narrow neck of land, creating a new, straighter channel. The abandoned bend becomes an oxbow lake, a crescent-shaped body of water separated from the main river. Oxbow lakes are common features in mature river systems and provide important habitats for wildlife. Natural levees form along riverbanks during floods. When rivers overflow, the sudden decrease in velocity causes heavier sediments to settle near the banks, gradually building raised ridges. These levees help contain future floods, but can also influence water flow, sometimes leading to the formation of backswamps and wetlands behind them. Braided rivers develop in areas with high sediment loads and variable water flow. Instead of a single channel, braided rivers consist of multiple interweaving channels, separated by temporary sediment bars. These rivers are common in regions with glacial meltwater or seasonal flow variations. Their constantly shifting channels create dynamic landscapes that change rapidly compared to more stable river systems. Alluvial fans form where rivers emerge from steep mountain valleys onto flat plains. As the slope decreases abruptly, the river loses energy and deposits sediment in a fan-shaped pattern. Over time, multiple channels may spread across the fan, creating fertile but sometimes unstable terrain. Deltas represent one of the most significant depositional features created by rivers. When a river enters a lake or ocean, its flow slows dramatically, causing sediment to settle. This accumulation creates branching channels and wetlands that extend outward into the receiving body of water. Deltas are often densely populated due to fertile soils and access to water, though they are also vulnerable to flooding and sea level changes. River terraces provide evidence of past river levels and landscape evolution. These step-like landforms form when a river cuts downward into its floodplain, leaving former floodplain surfaces elevated above the current channel. Terraces can result from changes in climate, sea level, or tectonic activity that alter river gradients and flow patterns. Karst landscapes, characterized by soluble rock such as limestone, are also shaped by rivers and groundwater. Over time, slightly acidic water dissolves rock, creating caves, sinkholes, and underground rivers. These features demonstrate how rivers influence not only surface landscapes, but also subsurface environments. Glacial rivers play a unique role in shaping landscapes in colder regions. Meltwater from glaciers carries large volumes of sediment, carving valleys and depositing outwash plains. These plains consist of layered sediments that reflect seasonal variations in meltwater flow. Seasonal flooding contributes significantly to landscape formation. Floodwaters spread across floodplains, depositing fine sediments that enrich soils and support plant growth. These periodic floods maintain wetland ecosystems and influence vegetation patterns across river valleys. Karst landscapes, characterized by soluble rock such as limestone, are also shaped by rivers and groundwater. Over time, slightly acidic water dissolves rock, creating caves, sinkholes, and underground rivers. These features demonstrate how rivers influence not only surface landscapes, but also subsurface environments. Glacial rivers play a unique role in shaping landscapes in colder regions. Meltwater from glaciers carries large volumes of sediment, carving valleys and depositing outwash plains. These plains consist of layered sediments that reflect seasonal variations in meltwater flow. Seasonal flooding contributes significantly to landscape formation. Floodwaters spread across floodplains, depositing fine sediments that enrich soils and support plant growth. These periodic floods maintain wetland ecosystems and influence vegetation patterns across river valleys. Human activities can alter natural landscape shaping processes. Dams trap sediment that would otherwise replenish downstream floodplains and deltas. Channelization straightens rivers, reducing meandering and altering erosion patterns. While these modifications can improve navigation and flood control, they also affect natural landform development and ecological balance. Over geological timescales, rivers can change course entirely through a process known as river capture or stream piracy. This occurs when one river erodes through a watershed divide and diverts the flow of another river into its own channel. Such events reshape drainage basins and alter regional water distribution. The shaping of landscapes by rivers is an ongoing process that reflects the balance between water flow, sediment supply, climate, and geology. From steep mountain valleys to expansive deltas, river-formed landforms illustrate the continuous interaction between water and land. Through persistent movement and gradual change, rivers create patterns visible across continents. Valleys deepen, floodplains widen, and sediments accumulate in new formations. These transformations occur over timescales ranging from seasonal cycles to millions of years, demonstrating the enduring influence of rivers on the planet's surface. Rivers vary greatly in length, volume, and the regions they traverse. Some extend across continents, shaping cultures, economies, and ecosystems along their paths. These major rivers serve as vital freshwater sources, transportation corridors, and centers of biodiversity. Examining prominent rivers around the world provides insight into their geographic diversity and global significance. The Nile River in northeastern Africa is widely regarded as the longest river in the world, stretching more than 6,600 kilometers. Flowing northward through multiple countries, including Uganda, South Sudan, Sudan, and Egypt, the Nile has supported agriculture and settlement for thousands of years. Its annual flooding historically deposited nutrient-rich silt along its banks, enabling reliable crop production in otherwise arid regions. The Amazon River in South America carries the greatest volume of water of any river on Earth. Originating in the Andes Mountains of Peru, it flows eastward across Brazil before emptying into the Atlantic Ocean. The Amazon basin covers vast rainforest regions and contains an immense network of tributaries. This river system supports unparalleled biodiversity and plays a crucial role in regional climate regulation through moisture transport. The Yangtze River in China is the longest river in Asia, extending over 6,300 kilometers from the Tibetan Plateau to the East China Sea. It passes through major population centers and serves as a critical transportation route. The river's basin supports agriculture, industry, and hydroelectric power generation, including the Three Gorges Dam, one of the largest hydroelectric projects in the world. The Mississippi River in North America flows approximately 3,730 kilometers from its source in Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico. Together with its tributary, the Missouri River, it forms one of the largest river systems on the continent. The Mississippi has long been a major transportation artery, facilitating trade and movement of goods across the central United States. Its floodplain contains fertile soils that support extensive agriculture. The Congo River in Central Africa is the second largest river in the world by discharge after the Amazon. Flowing through dense tropical forests, it forms a vast drainage basin that sustains rich ecosystems. The river's deep channels and powerful currents make it one of the most significant hydrological features on the African continent. It also provides transportation routes in regions where overland travel is challenging. The Ganges River in South Asia flows from the Himalayan mountains through India and Bangladesh before reaching the Bay of Bengal. It holds deep cultural and spiritual significance and supports hundreds of millions of people. The river's basin is one of the most densely populated regions in the world, relying on its waters for irrigation, drinking, and industry. The Danube River in Europe flows through or borders 10 countries, making it one of the most international rivers in the world. Originating in Germany's Black Forest, it travels southeast to the Black Sea. The Danube has historically served as a trade route linking Central and Eastern Europe. Its basin includes diverse ecosystems, wetlands, and cultural landscapes. The Mekong River in Southeast Asia flows through 6 countries, including China, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. It supports one of the world's largest inland fisheries and sustains millions of people through agriculture and aquaculture. Seasonal flooding enriches soils and maintains productive wetlands along its lower reaches. The Volga River in Russia is the longest river in Europe and plays a central role in the country's transportation and energy systems. Flowing into the Caspian Sea, the Volga Basin supports major cities, agriculture, and hydroelectric power generation. Its network of canals connects it to other waterways, forming an extensive inland shipping system. The Murray River in Australia is the country's longest river and a critical component of the Murray-Darling Basin. It supports agriculture, communities, and ecosystems across southeastern Australia. Water management in this basin is essential for balancing irrigation needs with environmental conservation. The Colorado River in North America is known for carving the Grand Canyon, one of the most iconic geological formations in the world. Flowing through the southwestern United States and into Mexico, the river provides water to millions of people in arid regions. Extensive dam systems regulate its flow for irrigation, hydroelectric power, and urban use. The Rhine River in Europe flows from the Swiss Alps through Germany and the Netherlands before reaching the North Sea. It is one of Europe's busiest waterways, supporting international trade and industrial development. The Rhine also passes through scenic valleys and historic towns, highlighting its cultural and economic importance. The Niger River in West Africa forms a distinctive arc across the region, flowing through Guinea, Mali, Niger, and Nigeria. It supports agriculture, fishing, and transportation in areas where rainfall can be limited. The river's inland delta in Mali creates wetlands that sustain wildlife and seasonal grazing. The Indus River in South Asia originates in the Tibetan Plateau and flows through India and Pakistan before reaching the Arabian Sea. It has been a lifeline for agriculture in arid regions for millennia. Extensive irrigation systems depend on its waters, supporting food production and rural communities. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers in the Middle East flow through Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. These rivers have historically supported some of the earliest urban civilizations by providing water for irrigation and settlement. Their floodplains enabled agriculture in otherwise dry landscapes, shaping regional development. The Paraná River in South America flows through Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina. It supports major hydroelectric projects, including the Itaipu Dam, and serves as an important transportation route. The river's basin contains wetlands and floodplains that support diverse ecosystems. The Zambezi River in southern Africa is known for Victoria Falls, one of the largest waterfalls in the world. Flowing through multiple countries, the river provides water, hydroelectric power, and transportation routes, seasonal flow variations influence floodplains that support wildlife and agriculture. The Yukon River in North America flows through Canada and Alaska, draining vast wilderness areas. Its basin supports fish populations, including salmon, which are vital to local ecosystems and communities. The river freezes during winter, affecting transportation and seasonal activities. The Lena River in Siberia flows northward into the Arctic Ocean. Its basin experiences extreme seasonal variations, with frozen conditions in winter and significant flooding during spring thaw. The Lena Delta forms one of the largest Arctic deltas, supporting migratory birds and unique ecosystems. Major rivers demonstrate the diversity of Earth's hydrological systems. They vary in climate, flow patterns, and ecological significance, yet all serve as vital connectors between landscapes and communities. Their waters sustain agriculture, support biodiversity, enable transportation, and shape cultural identities. Across continents, rivers continue to influence settlement patterns and economic development. Ports, cities, and trade routes often align with major waterways, reflecting their enduring importance. As populations grow and climates shift, the management and conservation of these rivers remain essential for sustaining human societies and natural environments. Seasonal variations influence river ecosystems. During periods of high flow, habitats expand and connectivity increases between channels and floodplains. In low-flow conditions, isolated pools may form, concentrating aquatic life and increasing competition for resources. Species adapted to these fluctuations demonstrate resilience in changing environments. Temperature gradients within rivers affect species distribution. Cold water species inhabit upstream regions with shaded channels and swift currents, while warm water species are more common in lower reaches. Changes in temperature due to climate variation or human activity can alter these distributions, affecting ecosystem balance. Human activities have significant impacts on river ecosystems. Pollution from agriculture, industry, and urban runoff can degrade water quality, harming aquatic life. Dams and barriers disrupt migration routes for fish and alter natural flow regimes. Habitat restoration efforts aim to improve river health by replanting riparian vegetation, removing barriers, and reducing pollution sources. Conservation initiatives focus on protecting biodiversity and maintaining ecological functions. Establishing protected areas along rivers helps preserve habitats and migration corridors. Sustainable water management practices balance human needs with environmental protection, ensuring long-term ecosystem resilience. River ecosystems are interconnected with surrounding landscapes. Nutrients and organic matter carried by rivers support downstream habitats, including estuaries and coastal waters. This connectivity highlights the importance of maintaining healthy river systems for broader environmental stability. The diversity of life in river environments reflects the adaptability of species to flowing water and changing conditions. From microscopic organisms to large mammals, each plays a role in maintaining ecological balance. The continuous movement of water sustains these ecosystems, distributing nutrients, shaping habitats, and supporting complex food webs. As rivers flow through varied landscapes, they create corridors of life that link mountains, forests, plains, and oceans. These corridors support migration, genetic exchange, and seasonal movements of species. Protecting river ecosystems helps preserve biodiversity and ensures the continued functioning of natural systems that support life. Rivers have played a central role in the development of human civilizations for thousands of years. Access to reliable fresh water enabled early communities to establish permanent settlements, cultivate crops, and support growing populations. Many of the world's earliest cities emerged along riverbanks, where fertile soils and dependable water supplies provided the foundation for stable societies. Agriculture has long depended on rivers for irrigation. Seasonal floods deposit nutrient-rich sediments onto floodplains, enhancing soil fertility and improving crop yields. Early farmers learned to manage floodwaters through canals, levees, and reservoirs, directing water to fields during dry periods. These irrigation systems allowed communities to produce surplus food, supporting trade, specialization of labor, and urban growth. The Nile River supported one of the most enduring agricultural systems in northeastern Africa. Its predictable flooding cycle enabled farmers to plant and harvest crops with consistency. Irrigation channels extended water beyond the riverbanks, transforming arid landscapes into productive farmland. This stability contributed to the development of organized governance, architecture, and long-distance trade. In Mesopotamia, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers provided water for irrigation in a region with limited rainfall. Early societies constructed canals and levees to control water flow and prevent destructive flooding. These engineering efforts supported large populations and facilitated the growth of cities that became centers of commerce and culture. The Indus River Basin supported extensive agricultural systems in South Asia. Carefully planned urban settlements included drainage systems, wells, and reservoirs, demonstrating advanced water management. Access to river water allowed for crop cultivation in otherwise dry regions, supporting trade networks that extended across vast distances. Rivers also served as natural transportation routes, enabling the movement of goods and people. Before the development of modern roads and railways, waterways provided efficient and reliable means of travel. Boats and barges carried agricultural products, raw materials, and manufactured goods between communities, fostering economic growth and cultural exchange. In Europe, rivers such as the Danube and Rhine connected inland regions to coastal ports, supporting trade across the continent. River transport allowed heavy goods to be moved more efficiently than overland routes. Markets and cities developed along these waterways, benefiting from increased commerce and access to resources. In China, the Yangtze River served as a major transportation corridor linking agricultural regions with urban centers. Canal systems connected rivers, forming extensive inland water networks that facilitated trade and communication. These waterways contributed to economic integration and administrative coordination across large territories. Rivers influence settlement patterns by providing natural boundaries and defensive advantages. Communities often built towns on elevated ground near rivers to reduce flood risks while maintaining access to water. River crossings became strategic locations for bridges, trade routes, and fortifications. Water from rivers supported domestic needs, including drinking, cooking, sanitation, and craft production. Access to clean water improved public health and enabled activities such as textile dyeing, pottery making, and metalworking. Rivers also powered early industries through water wheels, which harnessed flowing water to grind grain, saw timber, and operate machinery. Religious and cultural practices frequently centered on rivers. Many societies regarded rivers as sacred, associating them with life, renewal, and purification. Ritual bathing, offerings, and festivals celebrated the spiritual significance of rivers, reinforcing cultural identities and community cohesion. Flooding, while beneficial for agriculture, also posed challenges to settlements. Excessive floods could damage crops, homes, and infrastructure. In response, societies developed flood management strategies, including levees, dams, and flood diversion channels. These measures reflect ongoing efforts to balance the benefits and risks associated with river systems. Industrialization increased human reliance on rivers for transportation, power, and waste disposal. Factories often located near rivers to access water for processing and cooling. However, industrial waste introduced pollutants that degraded water quality and harmed ecosystems. Recognition of these impacts led to environmental regulations and improved waste treatment practices. Hydroelectric power generation transformed rivers into major energy sources. Dams and turbines convert the kinetic energy of flowing water into electricity, providing renewable power for cities and industries. While hydroelectric projects offer benefits, they also alter natural flow patterns, affect fish migration, and change sediment transport, requiring careful environmental management. Modern cities continue to rely on rivers for water supply and economic activity. Water treatment facilities ensure safe drinking water, while river ports handle cargo transport. Urban planning increasingly incorporates riverfront development, creating public spaces that enhance quality of life while preserving natural habitats. River management involves balancing competing demands for water. Agriculture, industry, urban consumption, and ecosystem preservation all require access to river resources. Integrated water management approaches aim to allocate water sustainably, ensuring long-term availability while protecting environmental health. Climate variability influences river flow and water availability, affecting agriculture and urban supply. Droughts can reduce water levels, while intense rainfall can increase flood risks. Monitoring systems and adaptive management strategies help communities respond to changing conditions and maintain water security. International rivers require cooperation among nations that share water resources. Agreements and treaties establish guidelines for water allocation, navigation, and environmental protection. Collaborative management helps prevent conflicts and promotes equitable use of shared river systems. Cultural heritage along rivers reflects centuries of human interaction with waterways. Historic towns, bridges, and irrigation systems illustrate the enduring relationship between people and rivers. Preserving these cultural landscapes contributes to tourism, education, and community identity. Rivers continue to shape human societies by providing resources, transportation, and cultural meaning. Their presence influences settlement patterns, economic development, and environmental stewardship. As populations grow and demands increase, sustainable river management remains essential for supporting both human needs and ecological balance. The enduring connection between rivers and civilizations highlights the importance of water in shaping history and daily life. From early agricultural communities to modern urban centers, rivers remain vital to human survival and prosperity. Their steady flow reflects a continuity that links past generations with present and future societies. Rivers are integral components of the global water cycle, the continuous movement of water between the atmosphere, land, and oceans. This cycle regulates the distribution of fresh water across the planet and sustains river flow through interconnected processes. Understanding how rivers fit into the water cycle provides insight into their seasonal variations, long-term stability, and response to climate patterns. The water cycle begins with evaporation, the process by which water transforms from liquid to vapor due to heat from the sun. Oceans, lakes, rivers, and moist soils all contribute to atmospheric moisture. Plants also release water vapor through transpiration, a process in which water absorbed by roots moves through plant tissues and evaporates from leaves. Together, evaporation and transpiration are known as evapotranspiration. As water vapor rises into the atmosphere, it cools and condenses into tiny droplets that form clouds. When these droplets combine and grow heavy, they fall to the earth as precipitation in the form of rain, snow, sleet, or hail. Precipitation replenishes rivers, lakes, and groundwater, sustaining freshwater systems across diverse landscapes. When precipitation reaches the ground, it follows several pathways. Some water flows over the surface as runoff, moving downhill into streams and rivers. Runoff is influenced by terrain, soil type, vegetation cover, and land use. Impermeable surfaces such as rock or urban pavement increase runoff, while permeable soils and vegetation promote infiltration. Infiltration occurs when water seeps into the soil, replenishing groundwater reserves. Groundwater moves slowly through underground layers of rock and sediment, known as aquifers. In many regions, groundwater feeds rivers through springs and seepage, maintaining base flow during dry periods. This connection between groundwater and surface water helps stabilize river levels throughout the year. Snowpack and glaciers act as natural reservoirs that release water gradually through melting. In mountainous regions, snow accumulates during winter and melts in spring and summer, sustaining river flow during warmer months. Glacial meltwater contributes to river systems in colder climates, though long-term changes in glacier volume can affect water availability. River discharge varies according to precipitation patterns, seasonal changes, and watershed characteristics. Watersheds collect precipitation and channel it into river systems through networks of tributaries. Larger watersheds typically produce greater discharge, while smaller basins may experience more rapid fluctuations in water levels Seasonal variations influence river flow in many regions. Monsoon climates experience intense rainfall during specific months, leading to high river levels and flooding. In contrast, dry seasons may reduce flow significantly. Temperate regions often see increased flow during spring due to snowmelt, followed by lower levels in late summer and autumn. River hydrographs illustrate changes in discharge over time, showing how rivers respond to rainfall events and seasonal patterns. Rapid increases in discharge following storms indicate quick runoff, while gradual rises suggest infiltration and delayed flow through groundwater. These patterns help hydrologists understand watershed behavior and predict flood risks. Flooding occurs when river discharge exceeds channel capacity, causing water to spread across floodplains. Floods are natural events that redistribute sediments, recharge wetlands, and replenish soil nutrients. While floods can damage infrastructure and settlements, they also play a vital role in maintaining ecological health and landscape fertility. Drought conditions arise when precipitation is insufficient to sustain normal river flow. Extended droughts can reduce water availability for agriculture, ecosystems, and human consumption. Reduced flow also concentrates pollutants, affecting water quality and aquatic life. Water management strategies aim to mitigate drought impacts through storage, conservation, and efficient use. Climate patterns such as El Niño and La Niña influence precipitation and river flow in many parts of the world. These large-scale ocean-atmosphere interactions can cause shifts in rainfall distribution, leading to floods in some regions and droughts in others. Understanding these patterns helps improve water resource planning and disaster preparedness. Vegetation plays an important role in regulating river flow. Forests and grasslands absorb rainfall, reduce runoff, and promote infiltration. Root systems stabilize soil, preventing erosion and sediment overload in rivers. Deforestation and land clearing can increase runoff, alter flow patterns, and degrade water quality. Urbanization significantly affects the water cycle and river systems. Paved surfaces prevent infiltration, increasing surface runoff and raising flood risks. Stormwater systems channel runoff quickly into rivers, causing rapid rises in water levels after rainfall. Green infrastructure, such as permeable pavements and rain gardens, helps restore natural infiltration and reduce runoff. Reservoirs and dams modify natural river flow by storing water for later use. Controlled releases can reduce flood risks and maintain water supply during dry periods. However, altered flow regimes can affect downstream ecosystems, sediment transport, and seasonal flooding patterns that many species depend upon. Groundwater extraction can influence river flow by lowering water tables and reducing base flow contributions. In regions with extensive groundwater use, rivers may experience reduced flow during dry seasons. Sustainable groundwater management is essential for maintaining the balance between human needs and ecosystem health. Water temperature is another factor influenced by the water cycle and river flow. Shallow, slow-moving waters warm more quickly, while deeper, fast-flowing rivers remain cooler. Temperature affects dissolved oxygen levels and species distribution, influencing aquatic ecosystems. The connectivity between rivers, wetlands, lakes, and oceans highlights the integrated nature of the water cycle. Nutrients and sediments carried by rivers support downstream ecosystems, including estuaries and coastal zones. Maintaining this connectivity is essential for sustaining biodiversity and ecological productivity. Monitoring river flow and water levels is critical for managing water resources and preparing for extreme events. Hydrological stations measure discharge, precipitation, and groundwater levels, providing data used in forecasting and planning. This information supports flood warning systems, agricultural planning, and infrastructure design. The water cycle ensures the continuous renewal of river systems, sustaining freshwater supplies across the planet. Through evaporation, precipitation, infiltration, and runoff, water moves through interconnected pathways that maintain river flow. These processes operate on local, regional, and global scales, linking atmospheric conditions with terrestrial and aquatic environments. Rivers reflect the balance of the water cycle in motion. Their flow patterns reveal seasonal rhythms, climatic influences, and watershed characteristics. By understanding these processes, societies can better manage water resources, protect ecosystems, and adapt to changing environmental conditions. Rivers undergo continuous change throughout the year in response to seasonal variations in precipitation, temperature, and regional climate patterns. These changes influence water levels, flow rates, sediment transport, and ecosystem dynamics. Understanding seasonal fluctuations provides insight into how rivers function and how surrounding landscapes and communities adapt to predictable cycles. In many regions, spring marks a period of increased river flow due to snowmelt and seasonal rainfall. As temperatures rise, accumulated snow in mountainous areas melts and feeds tributaries that converge into larger rivers. This influx of water raises river levels and may cause flooding in low-lying areas. Spring floods deposit nutrient-rich sediments onto floodplains, replenishing soils and supporting agricultural productivity. Summer conditions often bring reduced precipitation and increased evaporation, leading to lower river levels in some regions. In temperate climates, decreased flow can expose sandbars and riverbanks that remain submerged during wetter seasons. These exposed areas provide nesting sites for birds and basking areas for reptiles. However, prolonged low flow can concentrate pollutants and reduce dissolved oxygen levels, affecting aquatic life. In tropical regions, seasonal rainfall patterns strongly influence river behavior. Monsoon seasons bring intense rainfall that dramatically increases river discharge, sometimes resulting in widespread flooding. These floods expand wetlands and floodplains, creating temporary habitats that support fish spawning and bird migrations. During dry seasons, water levels recede and isolated pools may form, concentrating aquatic organisms and altering predator-prey relationships. Autumn often represents a transitional period in temperate regions. Falling temperatures reduce evaporation rates, and increased rainfall may restore river levels after summer lows. Deciduous trees shed leaves that enter river systems, contributing organic matter that supports aquatic food webs. Microorganisms and invertebrates break down this material, recycling nutrients that sustain ecosystem productivity. Winter conditions vary widely depending on geographic location. In colder climates, rivers may freeze partially or completely, forming ice cover that alters flow and habitat conditions. Ice reduces surface turbulence and limits oxygen exchange with the atmosphere, affecting aquatic organisms. Some fish species remain active beneath the ice, while others enter periods of reduced activity to conserve energy. Ice formation can also influence river morphology. Ice jams occur when floating ice accumulates and obstructs flow, causing water levels to rise upstream. When these jams break, sudden surges of water and ice can reshape riverbanks and flood adjacent areas. These events highlight the dynamic interactions between seasonal temperature changes and river processes. In arid and semi-arid regions, seasonal changes are often defined by infrequent but intense rainfall events. Rivers in these areas may remain dry for extended periods, flowing only after storms. These ephemeral rivers, also known as wadis or arroyos, play important roles in transporting sediments and recharging groundwater, despite their intermittent flow. Seasonal variations affect sediment transport within rivers. High flows during wet seasons increase the river's capacity to carry larger particles, reshaping channels and redistributing sediments. During low-flow periods, finer sediments settle, altering riverbed composition and influencing habitat conditions for aquatic species. Temperature fluctuations throughout the year influence water chemistry and biological activity. Warmer temperatures accelerate metabolic rates in aquatic organisms, increasing oxygen demand. Cooler temperatures slow biological processes, but enhance oxygen solubility in water. These seasonal shifts affect species distribution and ecosystem productivity. Vegetation along riverbanks responds to seasonal cycles as well. Spring growth stabilizes banks and provides shade that moderates water temperature. Summer vegetation offers habitat and food for wildlife, while autumn leaf fall contributes organic matter to river systems. In winter, dormant vegetation reduces transpiration, influencing local water balances. Seasonal flooding plays a critical role in maintaining wetland ecosystems. Floodwaters replenish wetlands, distribute nutrients, and support breeding cycles for many species. As waters recede, wetlands retain moisture that sustains plant and animal life during drier periods. These cycles are essential for preserving biodiversity in riverine landscapes. Human activities often adapt to seasonal river changes. Agricultural planting schedules align with predictable flooding and water availability. Reservoirs store excess water during wet seasons for use during dry periods. Flood control infrastructure, such as levees and spillways, helps manage seasonal high flows and protect communities. Seasonal tourism and recreation also reflect river cycles. High water levels may support activities such as boating and rafting, while lower levels reveal beaches and fishing areas. Ice-covered rivers in colder regions enable winter travel and cultural traditions, demonstrating the diverse ways people interact with rivers throughout the year. Climate variability can alter established seasonal patterns, affecting river flow and ecosystem stability. Changes in precipitation timing, snowpack levels, and temperature trends influence the duration and intensity of seasonal events. Monitoring these changes helps communities adapt to shifting water availability and manage resources effectively. Seasonal cycles create rhythms that shape river landscapes and ecosystems. Rising and falling water levels, temperature changes, and shifting sediment patterns contribute to the dynamic nature of river systems. These recurring patterns support biodiversity, replenish soils, and sustain human activities. The predictable nature of seasonal changes allows both natural systems and human societies to adapt to river dynamics. From spring floods that renew floodplains to winter ice that transforms channels, rivers reflect the passage of time through their changing conditions. Observing these cycles reveals the interconnected processes that sustain freshwater systems across the planet. Rivers have long served as natural pathways for exploration, transportation, and cultural exchange. Their continuous flow across landscapes provides routes that connect inland regions with coastal areas, enabling movement of people, goods, and ideas. Throughout history, navigation of rivers has shaped trade networks, territorial expansion, and geographic knowledge. Early river navigation relied on simple watercraft constructed from available materials. Dugout canoes, reed boats, and wooden rafts allowed communities to travel along waterways for fishing, trade, and communication. These vessels were well suited to local conditions and demonstrated an understanding of currents, seasonal flow changes, and river hazards. As societies advanced, boat design improved to accommodate larger loads and longer journeys. Flat-bottom boats enabled travel in shallow waters, while sail-powered vessels took advantage of wind patterns on wider rivers. Barges became common for transporting heavy goods such as timber, grain, and stone, significantly increasing trade capacity. River currents influence navigation by affecting vessel speed and maneuverability. Traveling downstream typically requires less effort, while upstream navigation may involve rowing, towing, or using sails. In some regions, animals or people pulled boats along towpaths beside the river, demonstrating innovative methods for overcoming strong currents. River channels present natural challenges, including sandbars, rocks, rapids, and shifting sediment. Navigators must understand channel depth and seasonal variations to avoid grounding or collisions. In mountainous regions, rapids and waterfalls can make sections of rivers impassable, requiring portage, the practice of carrying boats and cargo over land to bypass obstacles. The development of navigation aids improved safety and efficiency on rivers. Markers, buoys, and lighthouses indicate safe channels and warn of hazards. Dredging maintains channel depth by removing accumulated sediment, allowing larger vessels to pass. Locks and dams regulate water levels and enable boats to traverse changes in elevation. Locks are engineering structures that raise or lower boats between stretches of water at different levels. By enclosing a vessel in a chamber and adjusting water levels, locks allow continuous navigation along rivers with varying gradients. Canal systems often incorporate locks to connect rivers and create extensive inland waterways. River exploration expanded geographic knowledge and facilitated cultural exchange. Explorers mapped river courses, documented surrounding landscapes, and recorded interactions with local communities. These journeys contributed to trade routes and settlement patterns, shaping regional development. In North America, rivers such as the Mississippi and Missouri served as major exploration routes. Expeditions traveled upstream and downstream to map territories and establish trade networks. River systems provided access to interior regions that were otherwise difficult to reach overland. In Africa, the Congo and Niger rivers enabled exploration of vast inland areas. Navigable sections allowed movement through dense forests and savannas, supporting trade and cultural interactions. However, rapids and waterfalls often limited continuous navigation, highlighting the challenges of river travel. The Amazon River and its tributaries form one of the most extensive navigable networks in the world. Boats travel deep into rainforest regions, connecting remote communities and facilitating transport of goods. Seasonal water level changes influence navigation routes, with higher water enabling access to flooded forests. In Europe, the Rhine and Danube rivers became major commercial arteries. Canal systems connected these rivers, forming integrated transportation networks that supported industrial growth and urban development. River ports became centers of trade, linking inland producers with global markets. River navigation continues to play an essential role in modern transportation. Barges transport bulk commodities such as coal, grain, and petroleum products efficiently and with relatively low environmental impact compared to road transport. Inland waterways reduce traffic congestion and energy consumption, contributing to sustainable logistics. Hydrological monitoring supports safe navigation by providing data on water levels, flow rates, and weather conditions. Navigation charts and digital mapping technologies offer detailed information about channels, depths, and hazards. These tools enhance safety and efficiency for commercial and recreational vessels. Recreational navigation is an important aspect of river use. Activities such as boating, kayaking, and canoeing allow people to experience river environments while promoting appreciation for natural landscapes. Guidelines and safety measures help protect both participants and ecosystems. Environmental considerations influence modern river navigation practices. Efforts to reduce pollution from vessels include improved fuel standards, waste management, and emissions controls. Maintaining natural habitats along riverbanks supports biodiversity while allowing sustainable use of waterways. River navigation requires cooperation among regions and nations that share waterways. International agreements establish rules for navigation rights, safety standards, and environmental protection. Collaborative management ensures that rivers remain accessible and sustainable for future generations. Technological advancements continue to improve river transport. Modern vessels are designed for fuel efficiency and reduced environmental impact. Automated systems assist with navigation, cargo handling, and safety monitoring, enhancing reliability and performance. Despite technological progress, natural factors such as seasonal flow variations, sedimentation, and extreme weather continue to influence river navigation. Adaptive management and infrastructure maintenance are necessary to ensure safe and efficient use of waterways. Rivers remain vital corridors that connect landscapes and communities. Their navigable channels support trade, exploration, and cultural exchange, reflecting the enduring importance of waterways in human history. From simple canoes to modern barges, river navigation illustrates the relationship between people and flowing water. The ongoing use of rivers for transportation and exploration demonstrates their versatility and resilience. As societies evolve, rivers continue to provide pathways that link regions and sustain economic activity. Careful management ensures that navigation can coexist with environmental preservation, maintaining the balance between human use and natural processes. Rivers have held cultural and spiritual significance for human societies across the world for thousands of years. Their continuous flow, life-sustaining waters, and presence in daily life have inspired beliefs, traditions, and artistic expression. Many cultures view rivers as symbols of renewal, continuity, and connection between the natural and human worlds. In numerous traditions, rivers are regarded as sacred entities. Communities perform rituals along riverbanks to honor the life-giving properties of water and to express gratitude for sustenance and fertility. Ceremonial bathing in rivers is practiced in various regions as a symbol of purification and renewal, reflecting the belief that flowing water carries away impurities and restores balance. Festivals centered on rivers often coincide with seasonal changes, agricultural cycles, or historical events. These gatherings bring communities together to celebrate the importance of water through music, offerings, and shared meals. River festivals reinforce cultural identity and strengthen social bonds, highlighting the collective reliance on waterways. Rivers frequently appear in mythology and folklore as powerful forces or divine beings. Stories describe rivers as guardians, pathways between worlds, or sources of wisdom. Such narratives reflect respect for the strength and unpredictability of flowing water, emphasizing the need for harmony between human activity and natural processes. Artistic expression inspired by rivers spans literature, painting, music, and architecture. Landscapes featuring rivers convey tranquility, movement, and the passage of time. Poets and writers have long used rivers as metaphors for life's journey, continuity, and change. These creative works capture the emotional and symbolic dimensions of rivers beyond their physical functions. In many cultures, rivers serve as boundaries that define territories, regions, and identities. Borders formed by rivers influence political geography and cultural distinctions. At the same time, rivers act as connectors that facilitate trade and cultural exchange, demonstrating their dual role as both separators and unifiers. Traditional livelihoods often incorporate cultural practices linked to rivers. Fishing communities develop customs related to seasonal cycles, boat building, and water stewardship. Oral histories preserve knowledge of river behavior, navigation routes, and ecological patterns, passing this understanding from one generation to the next. Rivers also play roles in rites of passage and commemorative ceremonies. Births, marriages, and memorials may involve water rituals that symbolize transitions and continuity. The scattering of ashes in rivers reflects beliefs about returning to nature and the enduring flow of life. Sacred sites along rivers include temples, shrines, and monuments that reflect spiritual reverence for water. These locations often become pilgrimage destinations, drawing visitors who seek reflection, healing, or connection with cultural heritage. The placement of such sites along riverbanks underscores the perceived sanctity of flowing water. Indigenous cultures frequently maintain deep spiritual relationships with rivers, viewing them as living entities with intrinsic value. Traditional ecological knowledge emphasizes respect for water and sustainable use of resources. Practices such as seasonal fishing restrictions and habitat protection reflect long-standing stewardship of river environments. Language and place names often reveal the cultural importance of rivers. Many towns and regions are named after nearby waterways, reflecting their central role in settlement and identity. River names may preserve historical narratives, linguistic heritage, and cultural memory. Rivers influence culinary traditions by providing fish, freshwater plants, and fertile soils for agriculture. Regional cuisines often feature ingredients sourced from river ecosystems, reinforcing the connection between waterways and cultural practices. Seasonal availability of river resources shapes dietary patterns and food preservation methods. Music and oral storytelling frequently incorporate the sounds and imagery of rivers. Rhythms may imitate flowing water, while lyrics reference journeys along riverbanks or reflections inspired by moving currents. These artistic forms preserve cultural values and express collective experiences tied to river landscapes. Modern societies continue to celebrate rivers through festivals, conservation initiatives, and educational programs. River cleanup events and awareness campaigns emphasize the importance of protecting water resources. Public art and riverfront developments highlight cultural heritage while promoting environmental stewardship. Tourism centered on rivers provides opportunities for cultural exchange and economic development. Visitors experience traditional practices, historical sites, and local cuisines associated with river communities. Responsible tourism supports preservation of cultural landscapes and encourages respect for local customs. Urban riverfront revitalization projects often integrate cultural elements, including public spaces, museums, and performance venues. These developments reconnect communities with waterways that may have been neglected during industrial periods. By restoring access to rivers, cities promote cultural engagement and environmental awareness. Rivers serve as enduring symbols of continuity in a changing world. Their steady flow represents resilience, adaptation, and the passage of time. Cultural traditions associated with rivers reflect humanity's enduring relationship with water and the recognition of its essential role in sustaining life. The spiritual and cultural meanings of rivers extend beyond practical uses, shaping identities and worldviews. Through rituals, stories, and artistic expression, societies acknowledge the profound influence of rivers on human experience. This enduring connection highlights the importance of preserving both the physical health of rivers and the cultural heritage they inspire. As rivers continue to flow across landscapes and generations, they remain sources of inspiration and reflection. Their presence in cultural practices underscores the shared recognition of water as a foundation of life, community, and continuity. Protecting rivers ensures that these cultural and spiritual connections endure for future generations. Rivers remain among the most constant and influential features of the Earth's surface. Their steady movement across landscapes reflects the balance of gravity, climate, geology, and time. From their origins in mountains, springs, and rainfall, to their convergence with seas and inland basins, rivers illustrate the continuous circulation of water that sustains life. The enduring presence of rivers is evident in the landscapes they shape. Valleys carved by flowing water guide the course of tributaries and define regional geography. Floodplains enriched by seasonal inundation support agriculture and biodiversity. Deltas extend coastlines and create wetlands that buffer storms and nurture diverse ecosystems. These landforms demonstrate the long-term influence of rivers on the planet's surface. Rivers connect distant regions through the transport of water, sediments, and nutrients. Materials carried downstream replenish soils, sustain wetlands, and support estuarine environments where fresh water meets the sea. This connectivity highlights the role of rivers as conduits linking terrestrial and marine ecosystems in a continuous exchange of resources. The movement of rivers reflects seasonal rhythms that shape natural systems. Periods of high flow expand habitats and distribute nutrients, while low flow seasons reveal sandbars and concentrate aquatic life. These cycles influence plant growth, animal migration, and agricultural practices, demonstrating the interconnected nature of river dynamics and living systems. Rivers also serve as indicators of environmental health. Changes in water quality, flow patterns, and biodiversity can signal broader shifts in climate, land use, and resource management. Monitoring river systems provides valuable information for understanding environmental change and guiding conservation efforts. Human societies continue to rely on rivers for water supply, food production, transportation, and energy generation. Urban centers depend on river water for drinking and sanitation, while agricultural regions rely on irrigation to sustain crops. Hydroelectric facilities harness the energy of flowing water, contributing to renewable energy production. These uses underscore the importance of responsible management to ensure long-term sustainability. Balancing human needs with ecological integrity remains a central challenge in river management. Conservation efforts focus on restoring natural flow regimes, protecting riparian habitats, and improving water quality. Collaborative approaches involving communities, scientists, and policymakers aim to maintain rivers as vital resources for both people and ecosystems. Technological advancements support improved stewardship of river systems. Remote sensing, hydrological modeling, and water quality monitoring provide data that inform decision-making. These tools enable more accurate predictions of floods, droughts, and long-term changes, helping societies adapt to evolving environmental conditions. Climate variability influences river behavior through changes in precipitation, temperature, and extreme weather events. Increased rainfall intensity can lead to flooding, while prolonged dry periods reduce water availability. Adaptive management strategies, including water conservation and infrastructure planning, help mitigate these impacts and support resilience. Rivers continue to inspire scientific study and exploration. Research into hydrology, ecology, and geomorphology deepens understanding of river processes and their interactions with climate and landscapes. This knowledge contributes to improved resource management and environmental protection. Educational initiatives emphasize the importance of rivers in sustaining life and supporting communities. Programs that promote water conservation, habitat restoration, and pollution prevention encourage responsible stewardship. Public awareness fosters appreciation for the value of rivers and the need to protect them for future generations. Recreational activities along rivers provide opportunities for relaxation and connection with nature. Boating, fishing, and riverside walking paths allow people to experience the calming presence of flowing water. These experiences promote well-being and reinforce the cultural and personal significance of rivers. Urban riverfront restoration projects demonstrate the potential for harmonizing development with natural systems. Rehabilitated riverbanks, wetlands, and green spaces enhance biodiversity while providing recreational areas for residents. These initiatives illustrate how thoughtful planning can restore ecological functions and improve quality of life. The sound and motion of flowing water have long been associated with calm and reflection. Observing a river's steady current can encourage contemplation and a sense of continuity. This enduring quality has inspired artistic expression, cultural traditions, and personal reflection across generations. Rivers embody the passage of time through their gradual shaping of landscapes and steady flow across regions. Their courses may shift, channels may deepen, and sediments may accumulate, yet the presence of flowing water remains constant. This continuity reflects natural processes that operate over timescales far beyond human experience. As rivers move from source to sea, they carry with them the history of the lands they traverse. Layers of sediment reveal past climates and geological events, while channels trace patterns shaped by floods and seasonal changes. These records provide insight into the dynamic relationship between water and land. Protecting rivers ensures the continuation of the ecological, cultural, and economic benefits they provide. Sustainable water use, habitat conservation, and pollution prevention contribute to resilient river systems. By maintaining the health of rivers, societies support biodiversity, food security, and clean water for future generations. The enduring flow of rivers reminds us of the interconnected systems that sustain the planet. Water cycles through atmosphere, land, and oceans, linking ecosystems and communities in a shared dependence on natural resources. Rivers serve as visible expressions of this cycle, demonstrating the movement and renewal of life-supporting water. Across continents and climates, rivers continue to shape environments and support human activity. Their presence in landscapes and cultures reflects a universal reliance on freshwater systems. From remote mountain streams to vast continental waterways, rivers remain essential to the functioning of the Earth's natural systems. In the quiet continuity of their flow, rivers offer a sense of stability and balance. Their steady movement across valleys and plains reflects processes that have endured for millennia. Observing this constancy can inspire respect for the natural world and an appreciation for the resources that sustain life. As the course of a river extends beyond the horizon, it symbolizes continuity and connection. The waters that pass one point will travel onward, joining larger currents and eventually reaching the sea. This unbroken movement reflects the ongoing cycles that sustain ecosystems, landscapes, and human societies. Rivers remain enduring features of the earth, shaping terrain, nourishing life, and connecting communities. Their steady flow reflects the balance of natural forces and the passage of time. Through careful stewardship and continued understanding, rivers will continue to sustain the planet and its inhabitants for generations to come. Estuaries are transitional environments where rivers meet the sea, creating zones in which freshwater and saltwater mix. These regions form some of the most productive ecosystems on Earth, supporting diverse plant and animal life, while providing essential services to human communities. The interaction between river flow, tides, and coastal processes shapes estuaries into dynamic landscapes that change over time. When a river approaches the ocean, its current slows as it encounters tidal forces and a broader basin. This reduction in velocity causes sediments carried by the river to settle, forming mudflats, sandbars, and marshes. Over time, these deposits create complex networks of channels and wetlands that support rich biological communities. Salinity gradients define estuarine environments. Fresh water from rivers mixes with salt water from the ocean, producing brackish conditions that vary with tides, river discharge, and seasonal changes. Organisms living in estuaries are adapted to these fluctuating salinity levels, making them uniquely suited to environments where conditions shift daily. Estuarine wetlands, including salt marshes and mangrove forests, stabilize shorelines and reduce erosion. Plant roots bind sediments together, while dense vegetation slows water movement and encourages further deposition. These wetlands act as natural buffers, protecting coastal communities from storm surges and wave action. Mangrove forests are prominent features of tropical and subtropical estuaries. These salt-tolerant trees grow in intertidal zones, with specialized root systems that anchor them in soft sediment. Mangroves provide habitat for fish, crustaceans, and birds, while also filtering pollutants and trapping sediments carried by rivers. Salt marshes are common in temperate estuaries, where grasses and low-growing plants dominate. These marshes support invertebrates, fish, and migratory birds. They also serve as nurseries for many marine species, offering shelter and abundant food sources during early life stages. Estuaries are vital breeding and feeding grounds for fish. Many species migrate from the ocean into estuaries to spawn, taking advantage of sheltered waters and abundant nutrients. Juvenile fish benefit from reduced predation and plentiful food before moving into open waters as they mature. Bird populations thrive in estuarine environments due to the availability of food and nesting sites. Wading birds feed on fish and invertebrates in shallow waters, while migratory species rely on estuaries as resting and feeding stops during long journeys. These habitats support biodiversity on regional and global scales. Nutrient cycling in estuaries supports high levels of productivity. Rivers deliver organic matter and minerals that fuel plant growth and support complex food webs. Tidal action redistributes these nutrients, sustaining both aquatic and terrestrial species. Estuaries also improve water quality by filtering pollutants. Wetland plants and sediments trap contaminants, while microorganisms break down organic waste. This natural filtration enhances the health of coastal waters and protects marine ecosystems. Human communities have long settled near estuaries due to access to food, transportation routes, and fertile land. Ports and harbours often develop in estuarine areas, where sheltered waters facilitate shipping and trade. These locations support economic activity while connecting inland regions to global markets. Fishing and aquaculture are major industries in many estuaries. Shellfish, crabs, and fish species thrive in nutrient-rich waters, providing food and livelihoods for coastal populations. Sustainable management practices help maintain these resources and prevent overexploitation. Estuaries face environmental pressures from pollution, land development, and altered river flow. Urban runoff, industrial waste, and agricultural chemicals can degrade water quality and harm wildlife. Conservation efforts focus on restoring wetlands, improving water treatment, and managing land use to protect these sensitive environments. Dams and water diversions upstream can reduce sediment flow to estuaries, leading to erosion and habitat loss. Maintaining natural flow regimes helps sustain sediment deposition and ecological balance. Integrated watershed management considers the connections between rivers and coastal ecosystems. Climate change influences estuaries through sea level rise, temperature changes, and altered precipitation patterns. Rising sea levels can inundate wetlands, while changes in river flow affect salinity and habitat conditions. Adaptive strategies include wetland restoration and coastal planning to enhance resilience. Estuaries provide recreational opportunities such as boating, birdwatching, and fishing. These activities foster appreciation for natural environments and support local economies through tourism. Responsible recreation helps preserve habitats and minimize environmental impact. Scientific research in estuaries contributes to understanding coastal processes, biodiversity, and climate interactions. Monitoring salinity, sedimentation, and species distribution provides data essential for conservation and resource management. These studies inform policies that protect estuarine ecosystems. Education and community engagement play key roles in estuary conservation. Programs that promote awareness of water quality, habitat protection, and sustainable practices encourage stewardship. Community involvement strengthens efforts to preserve these valuable ecosystems. Estuaries illustrate the interconnected nature of river and ocean systems. Freshwater flow influences coastal conditions, while tides and marine processes shape river mouths. This interaction creates environments that support life across ecological boundaries. The productivity and diversity of estuaries underscore their importance to both natural systems and human societies. By filtering water, supporting fisheries, and protecting shorelines, estuaries provide services essential to environmental health and economic stability. As rivers complete their journeys and merge with the sea, estuaries stand as gateways between freshwater and marine worlds. These regions reflect the culmination of river processes, where sediments settle, nutrients circulate, and ecosystems flourish. Protecting estuaries ensures the continued vitality of coastal environments and the river systems that sustain them. River engineering involves the design and management of structures and strategies to control water flow, reduce flood risks, improve navigation, and support human needs. While rivers naturally shift and change course, engineering efforts aim to stabilize channels, protect communities, and balance water use with environmental considerations. These interventions reflect the long-standing relationship between societies and river systems. Flood control is one of the primary objectives of river engineering. Seasonal floods are natural processes that replenish soils and sustain ecosystems, yet excessive flooding can damage infrastructure and threaten lives. To reduce risks, engineers construct levees, flood walls, and diversion channels that guide water away from populated areas. These structures help contain high flows and minimize the impact of extreme weather events. Levees are raised embankments built along riverbanks to prevent water from spilling onto adjacent land during periods of high flow. They are constructed from earth, rock, or concrete and designed to withstand pressure from rising water levels. While levees provide protection, they can also alter natural flooding patterns and reduce the replenishment of floodplain soils. Flood walls serve a similar purpose, but are typically built from reinforced concrete and used in urban areas where space is limited. These vertical barriers protect infrastructure and property while maintaining access to riverfront areas. Flood walls are often integrated into broader flood management systems that include pumping stations and drainage networks. Dams are among the most significant river engineering structures. Built across river channels, dams store water in reservoirs for flood control, irrigation, drinking water supply, and hydroelectric power generation. By regulating water release, dams help reduce downstream flooding and maintain water availability during dry periods. However, dams also alter sediment transport, water temperature, and ecosystem connectivity. Reservoirs created by dams provide additional benefits, including recreational opportunities and water storage for drought resilience. They support activities such as boating and fishing, while ensuring reliable water supplies for agriculture and urban use. Careful management is necessary to balance these benefits with environmental impacts. Spillways are integral components of dams, designed to release excess water safely during periods of high inflow. By directing overflow away from the dam structure, spillways prevent damage and maintain structural integrity. Controlled releases help manage downstream water levels and reduce flood risks. Channelization involves straightening and deepening river channels to improve water flow and navigation. This process reduces meandering and increases the speed at which water moves downstream, lowering flood risks in certain areas. However, channelization can also increase erosion, reduce habitat diversity, and alter natural sediment deposition patterns. Riverbank stabilization techniques prevent erosion and protect infrastructure. Methods include planting vegetation, installing rock revetments, and using geotextiles to reinforce soil. Vegetation plays a key role in stabilizing banks by anchoring soil with root systems and reducing the force of flowing water. Flood diversion channels redirect excess water away from vulnerable areas during high-flow events. These channels provide alternative pathways for floodwaters, reducing pressure on main river channels and protecting communities. Diversion systems often include gates and control structures to regulate water flow. Urban stormwater management is closely linked to river engineering. Cities use drainage systems, retention basins, and permeable surfaces to control runoff and reduce flood risks. Green infrastructure, such as rain gardens and wetlands, enhances natural infiltration and improves water quality before runoff enters rivers. Navigation improvements are another focus of river engineering. Dredging removes accumulated sediments from riverbeds, maintaining channel depth for vessels. Locks and weirs regulate water levels, enabling continuous navigation across elevation changes. These structures support commercial transport and recreational boating. Weirs are low barriers built across rivers to control water levels and flow rates. They create small upstream reservoirs and help maintain consistent depths for navigation and water extraction. Weirs can also support irrigation systems by directing water into canals. Fish ladders and bypass channels are constructed to help aquatic species navigate around dams and barriers. These structures enable fish to reach spawning grounds upstream, preserving migration routes and supporting biodiversity. Incorporating ecological considerations into engineering designs helps balance human needs with environmental protection. Sediment management is an important aspect of river engineering. Dams and reservoirs can trap sediments that would naturally replenish downstream floodplains and deltas. Controlled sediment release and dredging help maintain ecological balance and prevent erosion in coastal areas. Floodplain zoning and land use planning complement structural flood control measures. Restricting development in high-risk areas reduces vulnerability and allows natural flooding processes to occur. Preserving wetlands and open spaces along rivers enhances flood storage capacity and supports ecosystems. Technological advancements improve river engineering practices. Remote sensing, geographic information systems, and hydrological models provide data for predicting floods and designing infrastructure. These tools support informed decision-making and adaptive management strategies. Climate variability presents new challenges for river engineering. Increased rainfall intensity, sea level rise, and changing weather patterns require flexible approaches to flood control and water management. Adaptive designs incorporate safety margins and environmental considerations to address uncertain future conditions. community involvement plays a role in river management. Public awareness campaigns and stakeholder participation help ensure that engineering projects reflect local needs and environmental priorities. Collaborative planning fosters sustainable solutions that balance safety, economic development, and ecosystem health. River engineering demonstrates the ongoing effort to coexist with dynamic water systems. By combining structural measures, environmental restoration, and responsible land use, societies aim to reduce risks while preserving natural river functions. Effective management recognizes that rivers are living systems requiring thoughtful stewardship. The integration of engineering and ecological principles supports resilient river systems. Protecting habitats, maintaining natural flow patterns, and managing sediment transport contribute to long-term sustainability. These efforts ensure that rivers continue to provide essential resources and services. As rivers respond to natural forces and human interventions, engineering practices evolve to address emerging challenges. Through careful planning and adaptive management, river engineering seeks to harmonize human activity with the enduring dynamics of flowing water. Rivers and climate are closely interconnected, each influencing the other through complex environmental processes. Climate determines precipitation patterns, temperature ranges, and seasonal variations that shape river flow, while rivers contribute to local and regional climate regulation through moisture distribution and temperature moderation. This zymosphere illustrates the role of rivers in maintaining environmental balance across diverse landscapes. Precipitation is the primary climatic factor affecting rivers. Regions with consistent rainfall tend to have perennial rivers that flow year-round, while areas with seasonal precipitation may experience fluctuating water levels. In arid climates, rivers often depend on distant rainfall or mountain snowmelt to sustain flow, highlighting the importance of watershed connectivity. Temperature influences river systems by affecting evaporation rates, snowmelt timing, and water temperature. Warmer conditions increase evaporation from river surfaces and surrounding soils, potentially reducing water levels. In colder regions, seasonal freezing and thawing cycles alter flow patterns and influence habitat conditions for aquatic species. Delayed release sustains river flow during warmer months. This delayed release sustains river flow during dry seasons and supports agriculture and ecosystems downstream. Variations in the snowfall and melting patterns can significantly impact water availability. Rivers contribute to local climate regulation through evaporation and transpiration processes. As water evaporates from river surfaces and surrounding vegetation releases moisture, humidity levels increase in nearby areas. This added moisture can influence cloud formation and precipitation patterns, particularly in regions with extensive river networks. Large river systems play roles in moderating temperature extremes. Water has a high heat capacity, meaning it warms and cools more slowly than land. Rivers can absorb heat during warm periods and release it during cooler times, creating microclimates that support agriculture and biodiversity. Floodplains and wetlands associated with rivers enhance climate resilience by storing excess water during heavy rainfall. These natural buffers reduce flood risks and maintain moisture levels in surrounding soils. Wetlands also sequester carbon in plant biomass and sediments, contributing to climate regulation. Vegetation along riverbanks influences local climate conditions. Riparian forests provide shade that cools water temperatures and reduces evaporation. These forests also act as windbreaks, stabilizing microclimates and protecting soil from erosion. Maintaining riparian vegetation supports both river health and climate moderation. Rivers transport heat energy as water moves from one region to another. Warm water flowing from tropical areas can influence downstream temperatures, while cold meltwater from glaciers cools river systems in warmer climates. These thermal exchanges affect aquatic ecosystems and local weather patterns. Climate variability, including phenomena such as prolonged droughts and intense rainfall events, affects river behavior. Drought conditions reduce flow, concentrate pollutants, and stress ecosystems. Conversely, heavy rainfall can cause flooding, reshaping channels and floodplains. Understanding these patterns supports effective water management and disaster preparedness. Global climate patterns, including monsoon systems, influence river regimes across large regions. Monsoon rains sustain major rivers in Asia and Africa, supporting agriculture and ecosystems. Variability in monsoon timing or intensity can have significant impacts on food production and water availability. Glacial-fed rivers are particularly sensitive to climate change. As glaciers retreat, initial increases in meltwater may raise river levels, followed by long-term declines as ice reserves diminish. These changes affect communities and ecosystems that depend on consistent water supply. Sea level rise influences rivers near coastlines by altering estuarine conditions and increasing saltwater intrusion. Higher sea levels can push saline water upstream, affecting freshwater availability for agriculture and drinking. Managing these impacts requires coordinated watershed and coastal planning. Urbanization interacts with climate and river systems by altering natural water cycles. Impermeable surfaces increase runoff during rainfall, raising flood risks and reducing groundwater recharge. Urban heat islands can warm riverine, affecting aquatic habitats and water quality. Sustainable water management practices help mitigate climate-related impacts on rivers. Conservation measures, efficient irrigation, and watershed protection enhance resilience to droughts and floods. Protecting wetlands and riparian zones supports natural climate regulation and ecosystem stability. Scientific monitoring provides valuable data on climate and river interactions. Measurements of precipitation, temperature, and river discharge inform models that predict future conditions. This information guides infrastructure design, resource allocation, and environmental conservation efforts. Community adaptation strategies address changing river conditions influenced by climate. Water storage systems, drought-resistant crops, and flood preparedness plans help reduce vulnerability. Public awareness campaigns promote water conservation and environmental stewardship. Rivers serve as indicators of broader climate trends. Changes in flow patterns, water temperature, and seasonal timing reflect shifts in precipitation and temperature regimes. Long-term monitoring helps scientists understand climate variability and its impacts on freshwater systems. The relationship between rivers and climate underscores the interconnectedness of natural systems. Water movement through river networks influences atmospheric conditions, while climate determines the availability and distribution of fresh water. Maintaining healthy river systems contributes to climate resilience and environmental stability. As climate patterns evolve, rivers will continue to respond through changes in flow, temperature, and ecosystem dynamics. Adaptive management and conservation efforts are essential to ensure that rivers remain reliable sources of water and ecological support. The ongoing interaction between rivers and climate highlights the importance of stewardship and scientific understanding. By recognizing the role of rivers in regulating environmental conditions, societies can better prepare for future challenges and protect the resources that sustain life.